Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close. What a week. What a week. We have seen a lot of red, we've seen a lot of green, we've seen a lot of volatility. So definitely a crazy week. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But it's the weekend. We're finally here. We're finally here. Actually, I think we only have one more weekend left in November after this one. And then we are in, oh boy. Yeah, then we're into December. And well, we're going to see what's going to happen. Today, today kind of is how do you follow up yesterday? The beginning of yesterday, the beginning of yesterday started off fantastic. We had the high from the earnings call from Nvidia, but well, apparently in the morning it came out that Nvidia, we didn't get the full story, and there was a little bit of negativity in there about how much. I think the gist of it was how much stock that they were holding onto and that they weren't getting rid of. That caused some concerns. Nvidia, after a nice little bump up in the morning, went immediately down, and the rest of the market followed. We we had a pretty bad week. We had a pretty bad week as a result, or a pretty bad day at least. Today, this is kind of interesting. Especially a lot of the doomsayers, were expecting the market to be absolutely dismal. They were expecting that red to continue straight through the day. I had a different idea. I had a completely different idea. I expected a little bit of red first half of the day, and then a bit of a recovery towards the ending of the day. And, well, guys, I get the green sign up for a reason. The market's green. So we did get exactly kind of what I was expecting. So no doomsaying, but just some common sense. Just some common sense. What can I say? Speaking of the market, let's jump in and let's take a gander at this market. So we have, oh, now that's not the market I want to show you right now. Let's go to this market. Don't worry, we'll get to the one with the red line a little bit later. This is the TSX right here. That blue line, of course, that's where we ended last month. So if we're below the blue line, we're having a red month, which I'm expecting. I am expecting a red November. If we're above it, we're having a green month. Well, here is here's the beginning of yesterday. So the hype from the Nvidia earnings, you can see the giant gap up. It didn't go. It went up a little bit, but pretty much right away, we had a lot of candles heading back down. And today, here's that recovery I was talking about. So we did see that on the TSX. Overall today, we are up 0.71%. So, that's not too bad. Although the last couple candles have been in the red, but nonetheless, it is a green day on the market. And we are still in red territory for the month, which is, well, it is expected. Keep in mind, we are at the beginning of tax loss harvesting season. So we have that stimulus, that pressure on the downside, pushing us down, holding us down like a bully in school. Oh, anyway, we'll leave it at that. Now, the United States, also a green day, 1.23% for the S&P 500. They are deeper into the red for the month, as you can see, the blue line a little bit further up. With us, we're not that far. The S&P 500, a bit more work to do. So they're definitely having more issues in the United States. The NASDAQ, also in the green today, and of course, well below that blue line. NASDAQ is up 1.07%. Yeah, it's been a pretty good afternoon. It's been a good afternoon for the NASDAQ. The Dow Jones up 1.24%. Same situation though for the Dow. Once again, really well below. The United States is doing, well, they're doing worse than Canada. They're doing worse than Canada. And there's reasons. One of the reasons is that a lot of the volatility we're seeing is being driven by tech. And well, the United States is a much tech-heavy economy compared to Canada. In fact, a lot of the tech issues sends people back towards gold, and that does help the Canadian economy because we got the gold mines. We got the gold mines. The Russell, so these are your little caps, guys, your little caps. Well, I got to really scroll down if we want to see the blue line. They're having a pretty rough time of it. Today, though, they're up 3%. But nonetheless, they're deep in the red for the month. Not a lot of excitement. Gold actually down a little bit today, 0.43%. Silver's also down, a full 1.68. Now, the darling of, of the commodities today is my good old buddy copper. I'm glad I have copper here. It's giving us a little oasis here in the commodity section. Copper is up 1.17%. And like I've said before, I love copper. I love the long-term aspect of copper. I think copper is going to be a good play. Oil, West Texas Intermediate down 0.96%. Bitcoin, oh boy. Yeah, here's that red line, guys. I have that red line there for a reason. That red line, that's that 85,000 support level. And, well, we broke through it. We broke through it. We broke through that, and we are now sitting beneath. So this may be turning into a resistance. We'll have to see where Bitcoin closes, but I do not like seeing us below this line. It's very concerning. It's very concerning. But we haven't closed. The day hasn't closed. Hopefully, Bitcoin can recover this afternoon into the evening, because Bitcoin, of course, trades 24/7. So let's see what happens there. Ethereum also well down. So let's take a look at them heat maps, folks. Whoa, apparently they're having a Black Friday sale. I did not need to see that, but hey, it's good to know. It's good to know. So here is Canada. Nothing deep in the green. Not a lot of big green. Now there is some, and we'll mention that here in a second. But as you can see right here, a lot of our most of our utilities are actually not having a great day. Enbridge down 0.59%. Our energy, of course, as you know, oil's down. So we got CNQ down, Imperial Oil, Cenovus, the whole works. The banks actually not doing that bad. Royal Bank's up 1.47%. TD's up. BMO's up. CIBC. They are up. Scotiabank is down a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. One of the highlights. Let's pull it up here. Magna International. So this is actually a tech company on the Canadian side, but they're up a full 5.68%. So I like it. I like it. It's been an interesting day. Definitely some buy the dip opportunities today too. And this is kind of one of these things. Take a look. Sorry, I caught something in the chat, and it caught my attention, so it threw me off what I was gonna say. But yeah, no, definitely some buy the dip opportunities today for sure. We'll leave it at that. I don't know what I don't even know where I was going. That's fine. Well, I do know where I'm going right now. I'm going south of the border to the United States. It's looking a little better. So you can see Google up 3.66%. Nvidia down a little bit, 0.45. Apple's doing good, up 1.72%. Apple introduced a new product. I don't think it's for North America though. You can get it here, but they've introduced this new iPhone holder that kind of looks like a sock. I watched a video on it, a video review of it earlier, and I'm like, it's like $100 sock that you can hold your iPhone in. Apparently, these type of holding bags are really popular in Asia. So we think it's mostly for the Asian market, because I don't know of anybody here who's going to buy a $100 sock to hold their iPhone in. But nonetheless, Apple, they're doing good. They're doing good today. Amazon also up. Walmart, though, Walmart's on the downside. What are they? Down 1.21%. Eli Lilly having a pretty good day. Looking over to the crypto land. Oh boy. Pretty darn red. Look at this. Bitcoin down, Ethereum down, XRP down a good 3.39, Solana down 4.91. It's not a great day. Now, it is tradition around here for me to grab some altcoin that I have never heard of, and I always pick the opposite of whatever the rest of the market's doing. Let's grab a green altcoin. Here, what's this one? This is the Globiance Exchange token. I don't know what Globiance is. Is that like when you're holding a globe and you're getting really frisky and you're feeling good about it? I don't know. Globiance. Globiance Exchange, no idea. This token is, it's so worth nothing that they're using massive exponents. So it is worth 0.21977 to the exponent of -8. In other words, it's worth nothing. But it is up. Nothing is up a little bit, so it's worth a little more nothing than the little less nothing it was worth at the beginning of the day. I don't know what this coin does. Honestly, I don't care what this coin is. There's no way I'm going to buy this coin. I'm just putting that out there. But I do this to illustrate a point. There's a lot of these crap coins out there. I call them crap because it's like going to the crap games. And you know what happens when you throw those dice that's not in your favor? The house always wins. So this is Globalance Exchange token. If you want to get into some of these less known crypto coins, read the white papers, do your homework, make sure that it makes sense for you. But if you do want to make money in crypto, there's money to be made. Maybe not this week, but your big coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, even Dogecoin. Even Dogecoin is a better fit than these. All right, let's go back to the main screen. I'm going to pull me right back in here at the TSX, and I'm going big screen so that we can hit the chat. Oh boy. And Stan Gray in first with a happy Friday. Claude says, hello, I bought some Celestica, Almonte, Meta, and Cameco this morning. What a week again. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good dips to buy. Cameco, ooh, that's a good one. Also Meta. I think Meta is going to be a good one as well. Oh, that's me. Sharp is in the house with a good afternoon, everyone. Wahipple says, I logged in just in time. Awesome. Scratch La Piero with Candace to start the weekend. Can't ask for any better. Ian, crazy intraday swings today. Yes, absolutely. Wahipple says, I sent the money. I think that might be spent. I spent the money I was saving for 60 and spent it on Biggie, and that picked up that just a few cents short of the bottom of the dip. Nice. So your timing was good. And guys, normally timing the market doesn't work, but sometimes it does. And on those times it does, boy, does that feel good. Red and green candles are very Christmassy. Yes, a little bit. Although today, I'd rather see a little more green, but I don't mind. Honestly, some people don't like to see red markets. And the reality is red markets and volatility, that's where you make some money. You make money with volatility. And if you are a long-term investor, buying some of these markets, buying some of these stocks, ETFs, when the market is deep in the red, oh boy, you're getting a good discount. And those all add up. Those all add up for sure. All right. Jan says, good. I felt like I was working at a job this morning trying to keep up with it all. Jeez. Yeah, absolutely. Now, one big point of advice. If you are not a trader, if you are a long-term investor, sometimes weeks like this, if you don't really got money that you're deploying, sometimes it almost makes sense to not even look at the market and don't let it stress you out. But if you, of course, are a trader and doing swing trading or something of that nature, then these can be some weeks where you can make some profits. And I will, as you guys know, the channel members, I let them know the swing trades I'm making. But I'll let you guys know of one that I made. So on Wednesday, of course, we had that NVIDIA stream just before the stream started. Sorry, stopped. Before it stopped. No, just before it started, I did open a small position in NVIDIA. I opened, it wasn't big. It was like 750, and it wasn't NVIDIA per se. I actually used the CDR because then I can get more. So I picked up 750 of the CDR, and then I was there, market open. I watched NVIDIA start going up, and I don't like to take chances, guys. So I get a stop loss in right away. It goes up, and then, of course, we all know what happened. NVIDIA came down pretty hard yesterday. Well, of course, my stop loss saved me. So I ended up with a profit, a half-decent profit. I can't even remember how much it was. It was something like maybe 1,500. I mean, it was a good profit. It was a very good profit. That was simply because I used that stop loss. I was strategic. Now, there's always that danger using a stop loss like that, like it comes back down, hits your stop loss, and you're out of the trade. But and then it turns around and goes back up. Sometimes you can miss out that way, and I don't mind. But yesterday was that time when that stop loss is exactly where it needed to be, and it did exactly what it was designed to do. All right. Jan says, I cashed out at 550 profit on a lug share by early this afternoon, my first swing. You know what? Congratulations, Jan. $5.50 profits. Many of you are probably going, what? That's really not even a profit. Well, it is a profit. It's $5.50. And for a first swing to make a profit, that's not a bad thing at all. Not a bad thing at all. But here's the thing. You are going to make losses. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. It is part of the trading game. When you're trading, your goal is to make more wins than losses. But keep in mind, that's not make all wins and no losses. It's make more wins than losses. You will lose from time to time. It will happen. And when you first start off, it might even happen more than you win. So, there's a bit of a learning curve. There is a bit of a learning curve for sure. All right. Sharp says, Global X must be watching your stream. They're coming out with a CPCC Copper Producer Equity Covered Call ETF. I like that. I like that one a lot. And Sharp, this is the first time I've heard of it. All you had to do was put copper in the title, and I'm there. I do like that. That sounds fantastic. Oh, guys! I'm 2 minutes late. I'm so sorry. I was getting all in. You know what? You guys have me all riled up. I'm all riled up today. So yeah, 2 minutes late on the bell. It's been a while since I've been late. But now it's happened. All right, we got Paul in the afternoon with a good afternoon. Paul, I don't like to hear that. Get some soup, get some maybe some fresh fruit, all of that fun stuff. The vitamin C, all of that in there. Vitamin C. Actually, in Ireland, they say vitamin instead of vitamin. Actually, I think they do the same thing in the British and the rest of the Isles over there too. The bell. Yes, I know. Mary says, hello. Guys, Mary is our official captain of the like button. So she hasn't said anything yet, but guys, you got to hit that button. Actually, the whole thing about that button is that it really helps the algorithm. It pushes things out, all of that fun stuff. And speaking of pushing things out, if you have not yet checked out today's video, I'll put that on your bucket list, or your daily bucket list for the rest of the day, because I sat down with Raj Lala. He's the CEO and president of Evolve. And I will tell you, there's a few really interesting pieces of information in that video. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but check it out. It's about 35 minutes, so great for the big TV, or just listen to it while you're driving or something. But check it out. It's fantastic, and that's the first time we've done a CEO on the channel. So, and I normally don't say, hey, go watch a video. This time I'm gonna say it just because I want to show some love and show Evolve that, hey, they came on the channel, the community is thanking them for it, and we can use that to sort of maybe get some more CEOs down the road onto the channel. So that's kind of cool. All right, one other thing. So yesterday, it wasn't alive, so that's why there was nothing about the whole thing with Adriano, the whole passive income thing. I think, and I don't know for sure, but I think it's getting released tonight. Now he wants to do it, I think, as a collaboration. So if that happens, it should pop up on this channel as well. But if it doesn't pop up on this channel, I will get you guys a link to it. But yeah, that came out. That came out. That's coming out today. So that was kind of fun. All right. Oh, excuse me. Ian says, "I wish RMAX would take off. I'm down 5% on it right now. It's my toad." Yeah, I know. I mean, RMAX is designed for income, but at the same time, I would love to see it grow a little bit more. I am up on it total return wise. When you calculate the dividends, I'm definitely, actually, what am I up on it right now? Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to take a quick peek and let you guys know where I'm standing right now on RMAX. Here we go, right over here. I'm not up by much. I'm up 2.81% right now on RMAX. So I'm with you on that one, Paul. It needs to come up for sure. Claude says, "Nicely done, Candace, with NVIDIA." Yeah, I played that one right. I played that one. And the funny thing is, going into that earnings call, I wasn't sure. So normally I would have opened up, instead of 750, I would have either went with 1,000, maybe 1,200. But I wasn't 100% sure, and I thought I might be playing catch up on this one. So I went a little bit smaller on it, but it did work out, luckily. Luckily. Scott Evil says, "I learned my lesson on swing trades when I got burned on USD CAD intraday change." Yeah. And that's one of the things is this is one of the things, like, guys, when I say I did a swing on NVIDIA, I did not touch NVIDIA. I touched the CDR, the one that CIBC puts out for NVIDIA. So one, it removes all of the currency exchange stuff off the table. It's also a smaller piece, so I can get more pieces of the pie per se. And that's important because you're playing the actual price. And if you've got a whole bunch of pieces of a price that goes up, you can potentially make a little more. Now, mind you, if you're dealing with the larger NVIDIA, you're going up a little bit more than what the CDR is, of course, because it's all proportional. But nonetheless, I sort of do that to avoid things. I try not to swing something in another currency just for that very reason, that you don't need another player on the board, such as a currency exchange. You don't need it on the board at all, because you could be in a situation where if you were investing directly in a US stock and it goes up, and now, mind you, let me backtrack on that. If you're investing in a US stock using Canadian dollars and it goes up, then you could have, and let's say the Canadian dollar fell, you could actually end up having an asset that goes up, but still lose money. So if you're a swing trader, or you're looking to do swing trading and you want to swing trade US assets, have a US account set up with US dollars and swing those US assets with US dollars. Otherwise, do what I'm doing. Use a CDR, or an ETF or something, but just keep the exchange rate out of the equation. It's way too much to have to look at and figure out as you're doing it. All right, Sharp. It's Brian. Not sure what's up with the ID. Oh, okay. Hey, Brian. I figured you would love that copper ETF, something I will add as well. And 60, I know, I can't wait for 60 to come out. And I love the idea of this copper one. I will probably have to add it. Because I am very, very, very bullish on copper. Paul, trouble sleeping Wednesday and Thursday night, 101.1 Fahrenheit last night. Yikes. That's not good, Paul. Well, hopefully you feel better sooner than later, because it's never fun to have the flu, that's for sure. Let's see. Mario says, "I was watching your video with Raj, but we'll watch the rest after the live video." Okay, fair enough. Paul says, watch the video, the Evolve video yesterday for members first. Yeah, one of the advantages, guys, to being a channel member is you get 24 hours, roughly, usually 24 hours, sometimes a bit more, of an advanced view of all videos. So yeah, I do that. Like I think this one was up by lunchtime yesterday. So I think you actually ended up with a 26-hour window. Um, Definitely good. Now, there is the occasional time if I run into a technical difficulty. There's been a couple times where I've made a video and something just didn't work, or there's been once in the entire history of the channel, this has happened to me once, where I didn't hit record. And I just filmed the whole video. Well, I didn't film it. I thought I filmed it. And then I go to collect my recording, and it's like, uh-oh, I didn't hit record. That's only happened to me once, but there have been other issues where, for whatever reason, the sound may have gotten garbled, or or something just didn't work, or I had a setting wrong, and I've had to film it over. On those days, you may not get the full 24 hours. You may get 22 hours because I'll be working hard to refilm and get things moving. All right, Lily says, looking to invest in uranium. Any suggestions? I'm an income investor. Okay, all right. That's good to know. So yeah, uranium. First of all, guys, just let's be clear. With AI, the growing, and AI is growing. No matter I know we hear sounds of talks of bubbles. It isn't a bubble, not yet anyway. AI is going to grow, and I don't think AI, even if we did have a bubble and it burst, it's going to be like the internet, right? When the dot-com bubble burst, the internet didn't go away because, well, it became a part of it became a part of society, really. How many of you can go without the internet, for any length of time? Probably not that many. Some of you might say, yeah, I could do it. But, really, maybe not. So I think the same idea. Even if this is a bubble and it breaks, AI is not going away. It's going to become bigger and bigger. That means, of course, more and more demand for power. And right now, one of the ways that power is going to be, one of the ways it's going to happen is through nuclear. And there's a lot of talk of nuclear. There's a lot of interest right across the board. Even some of the, I believe it was Google was investing in a nuclear power plant. So it's going to be big. And uranium, of course, well, that's kind of important when it comes to nuclear energy. And the best uranium in the world is in Canada, Saskatchewan in particular. Guess who's mining that uranium? Cameco. So Cameco is going to be huge. So this is kind of one of these things. So income investor, uranium, what can you do? Well, Harvest has their high income shares, and they do have one for Cameco, CCOE, I think. Let me just double check here, as I'm trying to pull names up off the top of my head. There's a lot of tickers, but I think it is CCOE. I think that's it. Yeah, here it is. Harvest Cameco Enhanced High Income Shares ETF. Now, this is a single share. Now, normally, when it comes to cover calls, I like that diversity in them. So that way there, I'm not super concerned. In this case here, if it's just one, if something does happen with Cameco, and I think Cameco is pretty safe. But if something were to happen to them, you're going to get the full brunt of it in this ETF. But right now, there's a good amount of volatility, which is good because here's why. 19.527%. So that there is your yield on this one. So you're looking at 22 cents that are paid out every month. That's pretty darn good. Now, if you want to go the safer route, so let's say you're looking at it, you're like, I love that 19.527%, but I don't like the idea that if something happens to Cameco, I'm going to take the full brunt. Well, even though I think Cameco is pretty safe, there is another option for you. So HHIC right here, this here is the Harvest Canadian High Income Shares ETF. So this one here, I'll pull this up here, a little bit less of a yield, 14.735%. But that's because of some of the other companies don't have as much volatility as Cameco. So that does pull that yield down. So this one's a 16 cents a month. So you're getting Cameco and you're getting a lot of really stable companies in here as well. You get some exposure to the banks, some exposure to telecommunications. I believe there's even some railroad exposure in here as well. So that's another option. I believe as well, Evolve, Canny, C-A-N-Y, and let's pull that one up here. I believe, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Canny has uranium exposure in here as well. Actually, they do. I know for a fact because me and Raj mentioned it yesterday in that interview. So yeah, so this one here will also have exposure to uranium. Now this is a higher. No, it's not. Really? I thought this was a higher yield. I really did. It's telling me a 4.373. This doesn't sound right. This does not sound right, guys. All right, let me take a look here. I thought Canny was higher than that. Let's see here. All right, we'll go to Evolve. We're going to just go to Evolve ETFs. Here we are. Products. Let's go to Canny right here. I just think that's a case of TMX being wrong. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Canny. All right, let's see here. Oh, what? This one does pay twice a month, by the way, which is nice. But let's see here. What is their yield? What is their yield here? Guys, give me the yield. Give me the yield. I don't care about performance per se. But I'm not seeing a yield here, but I can tell you right now, I do not. Well, look at this. Yeah, right away, 21 cents each distribution. So you're getting 21 cents each month. That's a higher yield. I don't know exactly what that yield is right now, but I'll tell you right now, it's not. It's not 4%. It's not a little yield here. Like, I think we just don't have a lot of data yet because this one is brand new, brand spanking new. And actually, you know what? I bet you TMX, now that I'm thinking about it, I think they're trying to backdate it into a 12-month yield. So I think they're just taking the total dividends that have been received so far and working it backwards. And I'll show you, they haven't received very many dividends so far. If we come over here to the key data on this, you'll see right now we've only had like a handful since September. So this here is going to be a much higher yield. If anybody does know or has worked out what that yield is, I just don't have a calculator right here. If I had a calculator on the screen, we could do it pretty quickly. But basically, if you took 21 cents and multiply that by 24, divide that by the price, you'll end up getting the yield on that. But it's going to be higher than the 4% for sure. All right, what can I say? Ian says, I'm down even after dividend 0.5%. It's Ian. Don't know why it's not saying my full name. Yeah, well, it does have Ian in. That's kind of weird. I don't know why. Yeah, something weird's going on. All right, and Paul is saying October 10th BTC dump is still going. Liquidity. Yeah. Right now, Bitcoin. Oh, and let's head back over here for a moment. I'm going to head back down to Bitcoin here. So yeah, Bitcoin has been. Oh, let's actually take a look here. And this is the dump. This here is the dump. So you can sort of see we've had, a heck, even per se, you could go all the way back here. Even I think you can go even further back. Yep. So we've been on a very big dump. There we go. That makes it a little bit easier to see. But yeah, look at this. This is a pretty big dump for sure. I would say technically really both here, like, yeah, October, what's this? Here's October 6th. So yes, that is the dump that Paul is referencing. And it keeps going. It keeps going. Now, we had a little bit of recovery in here. Now, this other red line, guys, to me, this is that line that if we go down to this line, I'm gonna start. The word crypto winner is gonna come out a lot more because we don't want to. This is a support we really don't want to break through. I don't want to break through this one either. But what can I say? All right. Jen says, "LO, I was joking, but I did draw it out at a good profit and bought Palantir that looks like a win at some point." I think, yeah, Palantir will rebound. Right now, there is such a focus on defense, like especially with the current administration in the U.S. basically insisting that everybody try to achieve 5% GDP in NATO. There's going to be so much. And the thing is, they're making deals. One of the things that Trump has been doing is he's been making deals with other countries to get their defense up and to buy it from the US. So that is only going to help Palantir for sure. Mario says, I have global silver ETF called AGCC and we'll get the new global copper ETF once it comes out. Yes, I do want that for sure. Let's see here. Endialdol. Wait a minute. Doorpat. I think this is Doorpat. It's doing this to everybody, I think. It's giving me, yeah, it's not showing me your custom names. All right, let's see. Hello, everyone. This week was rough. I learned a new word related to the market, hopism. Yes, it's also referred to as hopium. So hopium is another word that you will hear, especially in the crypto group. In the crypto group, you'll hear hopium a lot. Jan says, Bell kicked my butt when I first started. I thought it was safe blue chip because it's been around since I was a kid with dial-up telephones, and it dropped $10 after I completed putting 3,000 in. Yeah, Bell was an interesting one. So Bell kept falling, and even when it was falling, I got burnt a bit by it too. I went in, and every time I thought that Bell was at the bottom, that they couldn't go any lower, they bought a new shovel and kept digging. Yeah, I think a lot of people got hurt by Bell, but Bell did the right thing. Cutting their dividend, it was getting to the point of being ridiculous. I mean, they were almost at the point of looking like an income stock. So the dividend cut was the right thing to do for Bell. It hurt them a little bit, like some investors who hadn't already jumped ship certainly jumped ship then. But I think Bell's on the road to recovery now, which is good. Phil says, my friend just sold all of his Amazon CDRs and used the money to buy Amazon shares in Canadian currency. Was that a mistake? I was a little irked when he told me. Oh boy, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I mean, the CDR. So the Amazon CDRs give you that same exposure to Amazon. You're not dealing with all of the currency stuff. So yeah, buying it in Canadian, I wouldn't call it ideal. I wouldn't call it ideal because depending on the broker too, there's a lot. There may be more than just, there may be more charges than just that exchange. And keep in mind too, there's usually a spread on that exchange. So, for example, let's say, and you know what? I don't need the whiteboard for this. I can just say it. Let's say the exchange rate was 24%. I'm just picking this number out of my butt, guys. I'm just saying it. You may not get 24% when you actually do the exchange. So instead of losing 24% of your Canadian money, you might lose 25 or 26 depending on the spread. So that's one of the things that a lot of brokers do. That's one of the ways they make money is they increase that spread so you're not getting as much US for your Canadian dollar because they're taking a little piece of that dollar as well. So where the CDR, you don't have to deal with that, which is fantastic. Or if you have a US account and if you're using something, for example, like National Bank or Quest Trade, you can basically avoid a lot of the transfer fees by doing something called a Norbit's Gambit. Now, the Norbit's Gambit will be coming to Wealthsimple, guys. Those of you, and I know a lot of you have Wealthsimple, and I love Wealthsimple. They are getting that in 2026. So that's going to be a good way that if you have the US account in Wealthsimple, and if you have more than $100,000 in Wealthsimple, you get that for free. Otherwise, you're paying $10 a month for that US thing. Now, with National Bank, you get the US thing for free. You don't have to pay. So that is one advantage if you are, it's kind of like if you are wanting to invest with American dollars, right now, Wealthsimple is not the best place to do it. But if you're just investing in all of your Canadian stuff, your CDRs, then Wealthsimple is probably one of the better places to do it for sure. And speaking of Wealthsimple, I'm going to drop the affiliate link in the chat here. Here we go. Right now, Wealthsimple, if you sign up and fund your account, they'll give you $25 using this affiliate code. They'll give the channel $25. Hey, can't say anything wrong with that. That's pretty good. But you also get a bunch of entries into their gold contest because they're giving away one, and I didn't even know how much the other day, but they're giving away 1 kilogram of gold. And I think with the affiliate link, you get 20,000 entries. And I think you also get an entry for every dollar you fund your account with. And there's other ways to get entries as well. But if you've been thinking about trying out Wealthsimple, now's the time because you never know. You may get lucky. You may get very, very lucky. I don't get lucky. I very rarely win things, but you could be. This could be your day. You never know. And a kilogram of gold, well, that's a good chunk of change, that's for sure. Jan says, I sold it a year later at a $700 loss, but put it into the things that were going up with good dividends. So I was happy with that move. I was looking at opportunity loss and had a little more experience. Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, guys. A lot of people get stuck in that mentality, never take a loss. I'm never taking a loss. I will wait it out. Well, if you get into an asset and that asset plummets and then it just stays low for like a year, 2 years, that money could have made money elsewhere. So sometimes it can make sense to take a loss. I'm not saying you should or that it's up to you, but I'm just saying it can make sense. For example, something like Bell, and that's one of the reasons I got out of Bell at a loss, is for the simple reason that I wasn't going to make this money back anytime soon, but I got a lot of other things that are going up that if I move it into it, I'll make that money back really fast. So it can make sense to get rid of your bags. That's one of those terms. There's another term for, if any of you haven't heard of it, sometimes they call it you're holding your bags. It does sometimes make sense to get rid of it. Sharp, not enough data for Canny. Need to do the math. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And John, looks like John did the math for us. Yay! Everybody give a shout out to John. So yeah, around 21%. There we go. That's more realistic. That's why, if you guys notice, when I pulled it up and it said 4%, I was just like, what? Oh, I was like, what? That's wrong. All right. Hugh Gamilio says, agree to disagree. I would never put my money in a single stock covered call ETF. Yeah, absolutely. Some people will not. That's why I was mentioning. That's why I gave both options. I would do it if I really had a lot of confidence, but you got to have a lot of confidence. And honestly, I don't mind going to something that has exposure to it. So, for example, with CCOE, I get my exposure through I get it through HHIC. So that's not a bad way to go. That's not a bad way to go. But you are giving up, because keep in mind, many people who are into like MSTE, oh boy, the MSTE folks will tell you, yikes, it can be painful. And just so you know, let's actually, you know what? Let's take a look. Oh boy, MTSE. Here we go. Do I have this wrong? Maybe it's MSTE. There we go. Let's try MSTE. Yeah, MicroStrategy. MSTE. Here we go. This is the one. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. All right, guys. Oh boy. So here it is. You can see this volatility. First of all, just from looking at this volatility, that explains one thing. That explains why they can offer such a huge a dividend. Now, they have cut this dividend, but right now the dividend is sitting at 121%. It's crazy. That's a crazy number. But part of that is really inflated because of how much they've fallen. So if they keep this up, and I can expect to see more cuts here. I can. Will it happen? I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying that it's not outside being reasonable, because if they stay down, then yeah. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with MicroStrategy. They hold a lot of Bitcoin. So at one point, Strategy, they're called Strategy now. They got rid of the micro part. But at one point, Strategy was kind of like the only way you could get a spot Bitcoin exposure in the United States. It wasn't a spot Bitcoin, but because they had so much on their balance sheet, they moved pretty much in sync. But here's the problem. And here's where it gets rough and rocky with this one. Michael Saylor is so confident in Bitcoin that he does a lot of things to get more Bitcoin, and a lot of taking on extra debt. And part of the way he takes on debt is by printing new shares of MicroStrategy. Basically, there's a lot of dilution as that result. So as those new shares come in, obviously, if they print a bunch of new shares, people buy those shares. That's money, right? That all comes into the system. He buys more Bitcoin. So that does create a downward pressure. And then if Bitcoin falls at the same time, this is what happens. And you can see this big drop. Now, there's good news and bad news with MSTE. I don't know why I want to go MT, but the bad news is that this could get worse. It could get worse, and it could be a rocky road for a while. But once Bitcoin recovers, and on the other side of all of this, we could see some recovery in this for sure. But like I said, if you're holding it and you're waiting for the recovery, it might feel worse before it feels better. So keep going. I'm at that point where, quite honestly, if I bought in at $17 and I'm sitting at $5 right now, I'm not going to take that loss. I would hold this because I know eventually this is going to rebound. Now, I'll tell you, when people, Harvest is probably not very happy because they're getting a lot of calls, people calling up to complain about what's going on with this, but it's not their fault. It's strategy, the underlying asset that's doing this. It's not the ETF itself. The ETF is fine, but we'll have to see how this looks. And right now, if you're looking for a good place to get in, this is not a bad place to grab a few shares. But nonetheless, this is the danger, as we mentioned before. This is the danger of having a single share. So a single stock, so one stock. For example, this is in HHIC, but obviously what's happening here, the rest of the stocks in there sort of balance it out. So it doesn't hit you so bad. Oh boy, yeah. MSTE. Gary Gill. I don't know if you guys know who Gary Gill is, but he just did a video recently. He lost $100,000 on this. Well, he hasn't, he never realized the loss, but on paper, he lost $100,000. Now, he says on his channel, he did say he plans to show you how to recover from something like this. So that could be worth watching for sure. I actually want to get Gary Gill on the channel here sooner than later, because I think that would be a good one to interview for sure. And Paul is reiterating that Canny is a 21% yield. Lily says, yes, I did see Harvest CCOE. I have Canny. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Canny is paying 21%. There we go. There we go. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you guys are so It's like you guys all have calculators here. Well, you see, my calculator is normally my phone, but my phone also is the camera. So what can I say? All right, let's see here. Paul says the price oracles were screwed on October 10th. People got liquidated when they should not have been. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, and that sort of kicked off the beginning of what we've been seeing with Bitcoin. I'm hoping something can recover. I'm hoping, well, they will recover. Let's just be honest. They're going to recover, and they will be higher than they are now. Eventually, Bitcoin will be worth, and this is the thing. This may sound like the hopium, but yeah, eventually Bitcoin will be worth. I think in the next bull run, it'll probably break above 200K. Now, there's people out there that says $1,000,000. Well, maybe someday, but that's not on my radar yet. That's for sure. 200K, I think, in the next bull run. I actually thought this bull run was going to get to 150. Now, we have not gotten there yet. Now, I'm hoping that this is not our downfall, and I'll show you guys something. Let me show you something. All right, we're coming back. We're coming back to Bitcoin, but this is the 1 hour. I'm going to take us to the 1 day. All right, now let's collapse this a little bit, and you can see this is our movement here. See if I can collapse this a bit more. All right, this is what I wanted. Let's see here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go to the 1 week. I'm going to go to the 1 week. All right, there we go. Because I want to be able to show everything on the screen all at once. Here we go. Here we go. Perfect. This is good. All right. So guys, let's take a look here. I want to show you one thing that we did have. Now, the last time we had this big crash. So this was back in 21. So in 2021, we had, and it turned into a double. It turned into a double. So we had this all-time highs, and then there was a big, massive crash. And then we went up and we hit our all-time highs, and then we went into the bear market. So right here is our bear market crypto winter. So down in here is your crypto winter. Then this is our recovery. And we're going to see this. Like this happens all over. Like even here, look, you can see here was another big all-time high bear market. And you can see we go all-time high, crypto winter, all-time high, crypto winter. I'm just so used to calling it a bear market, but it is crypto winter. They use winter in here. So when you look at it this way, this is a massively sharp drop. Now, if we kind of got that double bump, and that's kind of an interesting thing. It's very similar to what we had before. So we could, and this is why this line down here is kind of important. So when I'm looking at lines, you can sort of see this is a big area of support. And you can see from where we've had a lot of movement on that line back here. So that's kind of where we're looking. And also, if you extend this line even further back, it also intersects with these all-time highs here. So we know we've got some kind of a resistance in this area. So I don't want to see Bitcoin drop below that. That would be a bad thing. There is a possibility, like I don't think we'll go straight down to this line. If we are going, even if we're going into a crypto winter, I think we'll still have a hurrah. We will come back up above this line, I think, before we do break this line. Like, I mean, look at it here. Look at this one here. That came down. We also had this big recovery, and then we finished the rest of the way down. So that could be what happens here. Maybe we do have a big recovery, and then we go down. I'm hoping not. I still wanted to see 150, and we have not gotten there at all. We got technically, what's that, 127 roughly. So we haven't gotten to 150. Now, mind you, I modified that 150. Initially, before we went into all of this, I was actually thinking 120, 130. My initial thoughts may turn out to be the right ones, that's for sure. But what can I say? What can I say? So we're going to pay attention to this, guys. Don't worry. We will look at what is going to happen. Just keep in mind, Bitcoin does have a lot of volatility, and this could very well, we could very well have another higher before we drop down. And the interesting thing is, I think I think if we do have a crypto winter, I actually think it's going to be in this air, not that much lower than the 67. Like, I was thinking between 50 and 60 would be probably where we'll end up settling in a crypto winter. But we'll see. We'll have to see. All right. Jan says, I noticed you went small. It was a good example for us and worked well for you. Yeah, with the NVIDIA. So that worked out really, really well. It could have been better, but you know what? This is one of the things. You will say this a lot of times with your trades that go well. It's like, oh man, I could have put more into it. Well, keep in mind, yeah, you could have, but it also could have went badly. So I always say there's nothing wrong with saying I could have, but don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on profits you didn't make, because they'll bug you. They'll bug you for sure. And Chad saying nothing wrong with Bitcoin. Used to be 67 dumps before the last halving. 15 to 35% correction in crypto is nothing to worry about. Just buying opportunity. Need diamond hands and stop looking at it daily. Yeah, and this is exactly what I was saying. Bitcoin does have volatility. And here's the thing, guys. Let's say we are heading into crypto winter. Well, imagine just a couple years ago, you could have been buying, like, look at this, 18, 17,000. You could have been buying Bitcoin down in here. Imagine if you bought a single Bitcoin for, let's say, $19,133. Even right now, even with this fall, 80,000. I mean, you're still looking at a 4x right there, up towards the top, a lot more than 4x. That's for sure. So that's the thing. If you do drop, and here's the thing, if you are invested in Bitcoin, and let's say we do go down into a winter, the worst thing you can do is sell. The worst thing, and that's where Chad was mentioning diamond hands. So diamond hands, it's just an expression in trading, in investing, where it's like you're holding on for dear life so hard that your hands are like diamonds. Yeah, that's kind of where it comes from. And it can make sense. In the case of Bitcoin, it's going to come back up. I have no doubt about it. That's what it does. This is what Bitcoin does. It's a normal part of the cycle. And here's the thing. If you go into a winter, forget about selling. Honestly, you can start averaging down when you're in that winter, and it's going to come back up. Now, mind you, there are going to be some of you out there, and I know this for a fact, that are like, Bitcoin is still a scam. If you're in that camp, then you probably don't have any Bitcoin anyway to worry about in this whole process. So there's nothing wrong with that. You can make a lot of money without touching crypto completely. So it really boils down to, I always talk about your risk preferences or your risk profile. And if Bitcoin or crypto was outside of your risk profile, then don't touch it. Then there's nothing wrong with that. And if anybody makes fun of you for not touching it, well, they're idiots. That's all there is to it. We have to respect each other for sure. Just don't call them idiots to their face, because that's not polite. It's not the Canadian way. Sharp. Let's see. David, sorry. A small part of Americans are dumping a Palantir because they are helping ICE as well. Not much Palantir can do since it's part of the U.S. defense package. That makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot of anti-ICE sentiment currently in the United States. There's actually a lot of anti-ICE sentiment up here too, but we're talking about the stuff that gets on my walkway. That's another story altogether. Lisa is in the house with a good afternoon, everyone. And we got Roku coming in at the same time with a good afternoon. Beautiful day on Stittsville. I have not, funny thing is, I haven't actually looked outside today. And now it's dark. So yeah. Oh, it's been one of those days. What can I say? Let's see. Good old Bell on the way down. It's hit bottom, but wait, there's more. Sometimes, yeah, I know. Bell. Jan says, I had some rich relatives tell me to get copper a few years ago, and when you said it, I got married. We'll get the ETF now too. I'm glad to hear about it. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, copper. Right now, I mean, copper is used and here's the reason. So copper is highly, highly conductive of electricity. And that makes it essential in a lot of our electronics, a lot of our defense systems, a lot of our AI stuff. It's needed everywhere. And it's predicted by 2030 that there's going to be a shortage in copper. So what happens if it's needed by everyone and there's a shortage? It means the people who pay the highest will get it, which inflates the price of copper. And that, of course, inflates our portfolios if you've got copper in your portfolio. John says, bought some TELUS at 1870 this morning. Time will tell if they survive. I think, and I have been saying this, I do think telecommunications, the sector, I think the sector is going to do better in 2026. TELUS, of course, being in the sector, should hopefully benefit a little bit as well. Let's see. Paul, YouTube appears to be using YouTube at names. Yeah, I don't know why. This is a new thing. Like, because I'm so used to all of your names, right? And then all of a sudden I start getting poor David has sharp02895. I'm like, who's sharp? But it's David. David's a sharp one. Paul says, did you switch to a different streaming app? No, I did not. This is the exact same one. Although I will be using a different streaming app here coming up in December. So probably in about not that long from now. Chad, let's see. SCCO is a good copper company, plus 3% dividend too. All right. Oh, how far behind am I? Oh, all right. I'm going to have to start skipping some stuff, guys. But I cannot skip over Mary. 24 likes, 66 watching. Guys, at the very least, we should be 33 likes. At the very least, 1 and 2 of you. 1 and 2. I'm going to have some coffee while you guys rectify that situation. Gosh, coffee is so good. Like, quite literally, I don't even know how they invented coffee. Somebody was just walking along looking at some beans growing on the ground. It's like, I wonder if I crush them up and put them in water if they'll taste good. But that's cool. Let's see here. A CDR versus converting and buying in USD depends on how much you are buying, how long you intend to hold, and initial conversion fees. I am doing CDRs because it's easier. However, we'll sell and buy USS later, or US later. Yeah, but like I said, if you have a US account and you've got US cash in it, then yeah, I would buy the US ones at that point. But if you if you have to deal with conversion, if you're just buying US stocks with straight up Canadian money, you're still better off with the CDRs in that case. All right, Rory is in the house. Let's see, didn't get filled on Canoe, bought 15 shares of HYLD. Nice. Got money from the Synovus Meg trade and invested in IVN for the long run. Yeah, and IVN is down right now too, so that's not a bad thing. My loss is HMMJ still have it, but I didn't put a lot in. Can you say FOMO? So fear of missing out. Yep, I can say it. I can say it a lot. Bismarcky, I'm a little late, but trying to catch every last ray of sunshine. Yep, we're heading. We're losing a bit of it every day. Coming home tomorrow. Nice. So you're in Cuba, I remember. Yeah, you're in Cuba. Also want to thank whoever gifted me a membership on Wednesday. Oh, well, a huge thank you goes out to the gifter. Scratch says Michael Saylor loves buying tops. Michael Saylor will pretty much. It's not that he's buying the tops. I think he does. I think he's using pretty much a dollar cost average type scenario. So he buys tops, bottoms, middles, all of that fun thing. They have cut MSTE again, announced a few hours ago at 0.35 for November. Wow. Hilarious. I just mentioned it. I just mentioned that I could see that happening. I didn't know that it had. Oh boy, that's funny. Jan says, I thought CCOE and CCHI look good to try a practice pretend swing on. If it goes up quickly, I have my own permission to sell, but I'm okay to hold and collect the dividends. Now, I want to point one thing out though here, Jan. Normally, I won't say never. I will use covered calls sometimes for a swing, but most times I'll use regular stocks just because they tend to have, if they have volatility and there's no capped upside, then you can make a little bit more. So if you think about it this way, if you're getting a covered call version of that utility or that company, and that upside gets capped a bit, then you're going to make a little less on that swing than you would have if you had just grabbed the original company. Just something to keep in mind. But sometimes price wise, right? So before I had a CDR for Tesla, for example, sometimes I would actually swing TSLY, and that's a covered call version, just because I couldn't really buy a lot of Tesla back when Tesla was super expensive. And even now, Tesla's still pretty pricey for sure. Let's see. HHIS increases to 0.27. Nice. Oh, I like that. Let's see. Jan says I accidentally bought 22 instead of 2 HHIC last week, but I wanted more anyway, thankfully. Yeah. And you will notice this will happen. It's happened to me once, more than once, probably maybe twice. Sometimes if you're doing swing trading, you might go in and instead of entering your, let's say you're trying to sell your asset because it's doing well, you might accidentally hit the buy button, not even realize it, and then you type in all your stuff and you and you end up buying high. It's happened a couple of times, but not that often. I once it's happened to you a couple of times, you kind of pick up that whole carpenter's adage, measure twice, cut once. Definitely. So what is his really loss from all the FCF? Not sure. Let's see. Greetings all. Just checked. Temperature 101 point, 101.1 Fahrenheit. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, hopefully the Tylenol will help you out a bit there. Hopefully you feel better by tomorrow. And yeah, Rory saying vitamin C and D, Paul. There you go. All right. Jan says, I've been trying to use your affiliate link for Wealthsimple, and all I get is a white screen. So I tried just using your code, and it wouldn't work. Is anyone else having that issue? That's weird. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, maybe everybody's having that issue, and nobody's just mentioned it to me before. Um, One of the things that you could do, one thing that you can do, like if you, let's say, for example, you sign up to Wealthsimple without using an affiliate link, and you still want to get whatever deal is associated with that affiliate link, there is a way to add it after the fact. So, yeah, let me know how that goes. If you end up doing it that way, let me know, and I'll give you the instructions on how you can add it after the fact. Because you're a community member, so we can just do it over there on the community tab. Let's see. Chad says, need 3 shots of Everclear hot shower, then bed. Oblique is in the house. Did Gary Gill say he is reinvesting MSTE distributions? I'm not sure. But like I said, I want to get Gary Gill on the channel. I need to get Gary Gill on the channel. I gotta bug him. I gotta pester him. I just need his contact information. So hopefully it's on his site. I'll go check that out. Let's see here. Boy, cowboy. Paul says they usually say BTC never goes back to price on the president election day again. Let's see. Jan says, you said you sold Bell on a call. It's the first time I even considered it, but you do have to watch what you buy in its place, obviously. I credit you for getting me started on unloading some toads. Yeah, sometimes you just have to, I always look at it this way. I've always talked about sideways movements. So a lot of times if you're on a toad, and there's another stock up and coming on the side, sometimes it makes sense to move off of that toad to the rising stock, and you can make that up a little bit sooner. And there's also, and I think I've mentioned as well, well, you were at the last channel member live stream. We sort of showed a way as well that sometimes if you still have a lot of confidence and a stock is falling, there is ways that you can sort of average down a little bit without adding more shares. So we did talk about that on the channel member live stream. But bring it up more. We can do it. We can talk more about it on the next one here in December. Let's see. All right. Kievan Kes in the house. Danny says, "Good afternoon, gang. Late but here. Wonderful." All right. And guys, if you're talking to somebody else, I'm going to skip you right now, just because we're a little behind. All right. But what the funny thing is now that everyone's showing up as the @ sign, it's like I look at it and I'm like, wait a minute, is that Paul talking to Paul? No, it's Paul. Let's see. There is talk of chances of December rate cut in the USA went from 27 to 70% in the last 24 hours. Yeah, I haven't looked at that yet, but I'll tell you, it is starting to look interesting, and I think we could even see one more cut in Canada. Our last inflation cut came in low, so that's a good thing. We'll see. We'll have to see. All right, let's see here. Jan says MSTE is the kind of thing you just don't look at for a while. It dropped right after I finally bought it too. Yeah, it's a tense one for sure. David says, I did the sell button when I was with TD, wanted to buy at 199 a trade. That one sucked. Yeah, that's where it really hurts, is if you're planning to buy more to average down and you accidentally hit sell and it cements a loss. The only good thing about that is you can just, depending on, well, unless you're in your TFSA, you can normally just buy right back in, but let's see. Whoops. Cowboy says, my only concern is not buying in wrong account. Definitely don't want to over contribute to the TFSA. Yeah, because then you're paying a penalty, a monthly penalty for that. I believe it's 1% of the amount you contributed over the limit. So if you're over $10, it's that 1% on the $10. It's not on the whole thing, guys. I had somebody once say, oh my God, the whole thing? I'm like, no, just what you've over contributed. All right. My CAD margin still doesn't have any positions. Oh, I caught up. QQQ, any thoughts on why ARC Resources is flat while natural gas prices are up? All right, let's go look. Let's go take a look. I don't know what's been going on with ARC. ARC, oh, I haven't deep dived them in a long time, but no, that's Yahoo Finance. I actually wanted to go here. Let's pull up ARC. ARX, I think. Is that it? Yeah, there we go. All right, yeah, let's take a look here. I'm going to pull up the 1 year right now. So yeah, you can sort of see like they have been sort of moving on the downside for a while. Now, part of it, of course, is well, actually, no, their dividend's not that bad. I'm thinking of another company who has a larger dividend, but I don't know what's been going on with them. I would need to dig into their earnings, I think, to sort of figure out if they're doing something. What are they doing? Here's one thing. Let's go into their key data for a second. All right, here we go. No, look at this. The return on equity is still really good, 29.89%. And they've only got 47% debt to equity ratio. So I'm liking these numbers. I'm liking the numbers I'm seeing. But yeah, and look at this. They've even increased their dividend from 17 to 19. I mean, they're doing everything right. They are doing everything right. So there has to be something deeper going on behind the scenes. I'm not David, I'm Brian. Yes, Brian, sorry. Brian. Oh, I liked it when you were named Brian on the thing. It was so much easier. All right. Brian is sharp. Got it. All right. What needs to happen to have Harvest increase distributions on TSLY? Right now, 25 per month. Volatility. They need to become, I guess Tesla would need to become a little more volatile. And that's a funny thing to say because Tesla is kind of the poster child of volatility, really. But yeah, that's normally with volatility, they can charge more for the premiums. And that should impact on the price. Unless, here's the thing, and I don't know if this is what Harvest is doing. I'd love to have the CEO of Harvest in an interview. I'd ask. Sometimes they may have that bandwidth to increase the dividend, but they don't. For the simple reason is that they kind of like hold off on doing that so that if things do get less volatile, they don't have to cut. as a result. Sometimes I have seen that. I don't know if that's the case, though. Guys, that's 100% speculation. Just want to be clear on that. Chad says, I wouldn't touch anything Kathy Woods owns or touches. She's the female version of Jim Cramer. Oh, poor Kathy. Kathy Woods' definite run away from what she is buying. Cramerica. Cramerica. Yeah, Cramerica. Yeah. There's actually, I believe there's an ETF out there that basically shorts everything that Jim Cramer promotes. I don't know what that ETF is, though. I wish I kind of knew. I'd love to watch it. I wonder. Just give me a second. I heard it, but maybe Google knows what it is. Oh, we're all back onto Evolve, but we'll go to Google here for a second. Let's see here. The Jim Cramer. Look at this. Jim Cramer Bigfoot. Jim Cramer. Some of the things that pop up here. Oh boy. Jim Cramer. I'm going to put short ETF. Let's see if that comes up. Let's see. Inverse Cramer ETF. So SGIM. Okay. All right. Let's take a look. Guys, I'm kind of curious. All right. We're going to go over to SGIM. Don't. All right. Let's try it on Yahoo. Come on. Please still be operational. No. Maybe it doesn't exist anymore. That sucks. Oh, boy. Well, wait a minute. It's in here. I'm fine. Let me go this way and see. Yeah, here it is. I don't know why. I did a search for it and it didn't show up. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's nothing here. That might be why. It doesn't look like it's trading anymore. Oh, yeah. But here it is. Let's see. What were they holding? ProShares, Bitcoin, Netflix, Alcoa, KeyCorp, Verizon, Cybane, Chevron, Wells Fargo, Eli Lilly. But yeah, it did exist. The Inverse Cramer ETF. Oh, wow. What can I say? Luke says, I like the software you use for stock analysis and data. Is that TMX? I'm not finding Yahoo Finance to be detailed enough. So yeah, there's a few different things here, Luke. And I know you asked a question. You got there's a comment. I'm so far behind on comments. So I basically go in, if I have a short amount of time, I go in and I answer the easy ones. Luke's was not an easy one. So Luke wants to know about the different software. Let's talk a little bit about it. So basically, I got a few different pieces of software. So TMX is normally my first go-to. So TMX, we'll pick a company. Let's say BlackBerry. We'll look at BlackBerry. So here we go. I will pull up BlackBerry on TMX. So TMX is going to give me a whole bunch of things. So for one, I can, of course, get my charts. I can look at BlackBerry's past, future, all of that fun stuff. It'll give me some of the basic information down here as well, which is great. So this one doesn't have a dividend or anything, but also doesn't have an EPS listed. Interesting. It'll give me a little bit about the company as well, just a brief little synopsis on the company. And this is some of the insider activity. So you can get an idea if there's insider buying, insider selling. This is not my place I normally go for this, but I'll show you that in a moment. And you get some recent news. So BlackBerry appoints John Wall as president. So BlackBerry expands partnership with Global Affairs Canada and Rogers. That's all on the cybersecurity side. So yeah, BlackBerry, I'm very bullish on them, by the way. All right. Now, with this, you can also, there's all kinds of things from technical insight news, but I like the key data section because this here will bring up a lot of stuff here. Like right now, I can see their return on equity. Right now, it's negative, so it's looking like they're currently unprofitable. But I question that. I question that because I know they've been doing so much better. 27%, that is their debt to equity ratio. So this is a fantastic site right here. Now, if I want more detailed information, I'll go to something like this. If I go to simplywall.st, there we go, simplywall.st. Now, they give you, I believe it's either 4 or 5. I think it's 5. You can look at 5 detailed breakdowns of a company a month. Now, if you go back to the same one that you've already looked at the month, that's fine. Once you've unlocked a company, it's unlocked for the month. But here's the thing. They're trying, of course, they want you to pay for the paid version. Don't do that, because as long as you got a couple of email addresses, you can sign in with those email addresses and you can get 5 more. So, you might have to use, maybe you use a different browser. I've got a couple. I got a couple. So like, for example, I have the channel email address. I got my contact email address. I've got a spam email address. So, I can get it that way. But anyway, from here, I'll come in. I can do BB. It may not come up. In this case, it does. Sometimes I have to type in the company name. And then this will bring you up a whole bunch more information. So right now you can take a look. Like, it'll give you some basics right off the top. So right now they're trading at 84.8% below what they're valued at, or what they should be valued at. We can also see that their earnings are forecast to grow. Look at this, 29.46% per year. And this here is a key point. Became profitable this year. That's why I kind of questioned that negative ROI, because they have become profitable. Now you can pull up, for example, you can go into their valuation and it will show you this. So their fair value sitting around 38.31. Now the beautiful thing with this here is let's pull this up here. Let's see here, set fair value. Normally there's a data. They just recently changed this up a little bit. Here it is down here, data. So you can actually pull the data up and it will show you all of the data that were used in the calculations, so that you can actually go through and work it all out. It's all here. It gives you the formulas, all of that fun stuff. So you can tear apart some of these formulas and sort of see how things work, how the math actually pulls together. Now, you also have, so you got in here is like future growth, shows you a little bit here, like these are your earnings, revenue, all of this stuff. Some of the analysts' future projections, you get all of that in here as well. And they give you a breakdown as well of what's good, what's bad on each company. Past performance brings it in here. You can sort of see where they've been at. And this is kind of a neat little thing here. This sort of shows where their money's going. So that's kind of a neat thing as well. Financial health will show you all their debt. So you can see right here, 27.08% debt to equity ratio. Now, I will point out, Yahoo Finance has all this data on it, but it's a lot harder to read. Now, here's a beautiful one. Like, I will use this. This will break it down. Here's their short-term assets versus liabilities, long-term assets versus liabilities. Now, one of the beautiful things I love is when this value here, their short-term assets, is bigger than their long-term liabilities. That's a sign of stability, and I love that with this company. You can go into their dividend, but they don't have a dividend. You can break down. You can even see the management team, all of that fun stuff. And if I scroll down here, these here are their recent transactions, and it will actually show you who has been selling, who's doing this and that and everything else. And these are fantastic. So right now we can see there's been a little bit of people selling, but not that much. When you look at these numbers, they're not that big. So I wouldn't be super concerned with that. And this is in the last 0 to 3 months, you're looking at about 29,000 people. But yeah, this just gives you a lot of information. So this is simply wall.st. So I like it. But like I said, you kind of have to work around the thing. Rory mentions TradingView. This is TradingView over here, and I use TradingView to get all my live tickers. I also will use it if I want to do any charting, like if I want to do some technical analysis, because I can add my lines and stuff, and I can also put indicators on it. So that's another one. That's another one as well. All right. There we go. Paul, let's go big for a moment here. I've been small all stream. Paul says, I already have vitamin D3, K2, got something with 15 milligrams of zinc and 270 milligrams of vitamin C. Ricola. Funny. Am I the only one when I said Ricola that heard the echoing from the old commercial in the back of my head? All-in-one Kramer short ETF. TradingView on sale this weekend. It is up to 80%. This is the time of year to buy. If you want a paid version of TradingView, there's only one time of the year to buy. That's the Black Friday sale, because it's huge. It's huge. Like quite literally, I don't know if I can find it here. Let me take a look here. Oh boy. Oops, that's not what I want. Um, let's see here. Mountain Finance, what's new? Yeah, here it is. Black Friday is here. Get up to 80% off. So that is the time. If you're interested, honestly, I find I get enough in the free version that I don't need the paid version. But if you did want the paid version, oh, never mind, guys. That's what happens, right? I go small and then you miss. All right, here we go. Let me do this once again. There we go. There's their Black Friday. So biggest sale of the year. Grab up to 80% off of their subscription. So that's the time to do it if you're looking to do it. But like I said, I get enough with this one that I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, Black Friday sales. Scratch, I'm up 150% on SBSW. I would not short it. It's actually an investment of mine. Palantir, yeah, absolutely. Or that's not a Palantir, sorry. Platinum Palladium miner. There we go. Let's see, this week sucked. Down on both TFSA and non-registered. It's been a rough week. Yeah, for sure. Let's see, yep, Capital Power went down a lot. All right, and that's a question to somebody else. Michael is in the house. Let's see, DLO made record earnings last week on Wednesday. That has no debt this week. On Thursday was at 13.14 until the big sell-off that took the whole market down. That has upgrades to 15 to 16. Yeah, I mean, the market, that's the thing. If the whole market goes down, guys, it doesn't matter what you're holding. It's probably going down. There's a few holdouts, but for the most part, it's not a bad thing. Chad says Hydro One gonna rock it soon. Been doing great all week. I like Hydro One. And guys, let me just pull this up here. So Hydro One, a very easy ticker to remember. It's simply H. And this here is they're a utility. I mean, here's what Chad was talking about. This up right there, not too bad, not too bad. It's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, they've been doing pretty good. And I'll even go out to the 3-year. You can get an idea. A lot of times people sort of complain when it's doing this, but for the most part, yeah, Hydro One, look at this, all higher highs, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher highs. They're probably going to come down. You might get another movement to the downside before it goes up higher again. So yeah, I like Hydro One. I like them a lot. All right, let's see. Bought more CPX and EMA. EMA September low of 64 is nice to grab. Not, yeah, why not? Thanks for the info. I'll give Simply Wall Street a try. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good site. I think you'll like it, Luke. I think you'll like it. Jan says, I tried that way too, but it said it wasn't valid, but I tested another channel ad link and it didn't work either. A Chromebook or iPhone either. Interesting. Yeah, maybe it's yeah. Yeah, that is kind of interesting. I don't have a suggestion. Just try going to Wealthsimple and see if it will let you download the app. Now, I think though, I would maybe try, if you have like a tablet, I would maybe try it on a tablet, see if that would work. Because I'm trying to remember, I think the first place I downloaded Wealthsimple when I signed up was actually with a tablet. But try a tablet, see if that works. I would just download it straight up because we can add the affiliate code after that, and then you'll still get the reward and everything, and get your name into the draw and everything. All right, guys, we're at about an hour and a half. If you got any last minute questions, get them in like really fast because I think it's time for the weekend. We will. Let me finish some coffee first. Oh, so good. We will be back, of course, on Sunday for this week. I can't wait. And if you have not yet watched that interview today, I did an interview with the CEO and president, Raj Lala of Evolve. That's now available right now, so definitely check that one out. Let's show some love for Evolve. And I hope tonight that video is going to come out from Adriano, the one that features me and a few others. So that should hopefully come out later today. I believe it will show up on this channel because he was going to send it as a collaborator. So I think it's going to show up here as well. So lots of content to come, and Sunday will be fantastic. I get this feeling that Sunday's going to be a banger of a show. I can't wait. Oh, I should go big. I should go big. All right, guys. Thank you once again for coming out. It's always you guys bring the great questions, and we always have a good time. I will, of course, like I said, I'll see you guys again on Sunday. And until then, guys, well, have yourself a good one, and